Hello everybody, and I'm at the closest park to my house if you look on RCDB. Yeah, Williams Grove Amusement Park. The only problem is, it's abandoned. So, I'm just gonna be walking around just getting some shots. As you can see by this gate, I don't think you're supposed to go in this park.
Wait 1 second, let's back it up. This is Williams Grove, Pennsylvania, a town, if you want to call us that, in south central Pennsylvania in Cumberland County, located only a few minutes outside of Pennsylvania's capital, Harrisburg. Currently, it's best known for its speedway, as you can see on the sign, but it wasn't always like that. In 1850, the Williams family first opened up Williams Grove as a picnic ground along the Yellow Breeches Creek. In 1874, the grounds were bought out and turned into a park, with the first ride being a carousel. During World War I, the park fell into disrepair and was bought out by many owners afterwards, until landing in the hands of the Richwine family, who began to make the park an amusement park. In 1928, more smaller flat rides like a tilt-a-whirl and Ferris wheel were opened, but its first coaster opened in 1933, then called the Zipper. Later renamed to Cyclone, this was the park's main attraction from 1933 all the way until its closing in 2005. Speaking of the ride's closing,
So I've traveled a bit farther, and this is the spot where you can most clearly see their major roller coaster, Colossus, I believe. And you can still see the roller coaster is fairly intact. I mean, it's definitely out of use, obviously, but none of the wood's crumbling, at least yet. But yeah, there's not really too many good angles you can get at this park, and pretty much none of the rides outside of the roller coaster is still remaining.
the park's operations continued like this until 1972. Morgan Hughes bought out the park. As soon as he bought out the park, Hughes began making improvements and additions to Williams Grove Amusement Park, most notably buying several rides from the recently closed New Jersey Palisades Amusement Park. Rides include spinning rides, a dark ride, a fun house, and another Ferris wheel. However, not even a year later, Hurricane Agnes came through central Pennsylvania and destroyed nearly the entire park due to the flooding of the nearby creek. With this forced Hughes to rebuild essentially the entire park. After this, things continued as normal for the park. The only major thing that happened was in September of 1995, a portion of the Cyclone roller coaster was damaged and had to be rebuilt due to a fire. However, what came next for the park has to have some context. 1939 saw the opening of Williams Grove Speedway, a dirt racing track opened right across the street from the park. And while I doubt many people have heard of Williams Grove Speedway, it slowly became the far more popular of the two attractions between the park and the Speedway. So, in 2005, Hughes looked for a buyer to buy out the park so he could focus more on the much more popular Speedway. However, there weren't many willing buyers, and none of them were qualified enough to buy out the park. So, sadly, in 2006, the park was closed forever. But, after closing its doors forever, what happened to Williams Grove? Well, as expected, many of the rides were auctioned and sold off to other parks. Most notably, their main steel coaster, Wildcat, which was a Schwarzkopf Wildcat, was sold to Adventure Park USA and is still standing today. And also I wrote it, and it's on my Top 100 Coasters video, and you should totally watch it. What's most interesting, though, is the stuff that didn't get sold. The footage you're seeing right now is essentially the best footage you can possibly get of the park from the other side of Yellow Breeches Creek. And also, don't break into the park, please. The most visible building is one that used to house a dark ride called Dante's Inferno. However, there are other shops and buildings that are still standing that you can see in other abandoned walkthroughs at this park, which I highly recommend watching if you're interested in this topic. And of course, there's still Cyclone. And despite what I said earlier about it not looking that bad, in the summers, it's pretty much fully grown over with trees and is in complete disrepair. The park isn't completely dead though. While the park itself is closed, there are still some fairgrounds right next to it that hold weekly flea markets. And just a few years ago in 2017, a haunted zombie walkthrough was open within the abandoned amusement park. Also, apparently, people still live on the property. At least that's what, signs and videos I saw said. But no matter what, the park will still be back there, behind the trees, slowly getting overtaken by nature. until someone buys that land out and puts like a warehouse on it or something. Thanks for watching.